For as boring as maps are, I feel like we're entering a Google Maps games renaissance. I know that sounds weird, but there's a lot of games I've been seeing recently that use real-world maps. The obvious one is GeoGuessr, that one everybody knows, where you're kind of guessing locations based on looking at Google Maps data. Today we're checking out a video about a guy using Google Earth to make a zombie game. It could honestly turn out to be pretty cool, especially since real-world locations seem like it would add a lot to the fear factor of zombies because it's a lot more, real. So, let's check it out.
What if you could combine games with the real world?
Oh.
I'm a game dev, and recently I saw that Google Earth is making their 3D scan of the entire world available in Unreal Engine 5.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I need to check that out. I feel like there's got to be a lot of cool ways to use that.
You can now make hyper-realistic games using real-world locations.
Oh, let's go.
This has been a long-awaited dream for me, and I can tell you, flying around on top of your home city is pretty cool.
That does look really cool.
After flying around for some time, I started
Mario.
thinking about game ideas. There were a few limitations. From far up, things look fine.
Yeah.
But the closer you get to the ground, the less detail there is.
Ooh, that texture did not look, that ain't gonna sell.
Detail there is. This is because at its core, Google Earth is just a lot of 3D satellite images stitched together. And while the resolution is very impressive on a world scale, things start to break down the closer you look. The first-person game was out of the question. The second limitation is what gave me an idea. Since these are just images, the streets are lifeless. There are no people walking around, no cars driving, no trains going out of stations, nothing. It kind of feels...
Yeah, and filling that stuff in could be pretty difficult depending on how it's set up because you need some way to mark where the roads are for the people and the cars to drive on. And even then, it's going to be hard to make it so that you can clearly see the people and the roads and make the cities look lifelike, but also hide the fact that everything looks this terrible when you get close. It's not impossible, but it is, a limitation.
Kind of feels like you're the only one alive in the entire world, like there's been some sort of apocalypse. That's when I got an idea. What about a zombie game? The more I thought about it, the more it made sense. I can use a top-down camera to fix the detail problem. The lifeless cities aren't a problem anymore. They even contribute to the apocalyptic atmosphere. And on top of that, it's gonna look photorealistic, since it uses real-world locations. Which is
literally photos. So, hence photorealistic.
Having found an idea, I started working on the game.
You got half of the
I started
hard
my
part
journey
done.
in my home city, Zurich in Switzerland.
Okay.
It has lots of churches, a river, and a big lake. I first tried to spawn a player, but he spawned way too high. Turns out I forgot to tell Unreal Engine where to spawn him. So I added a spawn point, and now we're below the map. What's happening is that the game makes a request to the Google servers to get the 3D data for the worlds. Google, however, takes some time to respond, and so the player falls through the world before it has had time to load in.
Oh, so it's loading real time? I would have thought that they would have snapshots that you'd be loading in. I mean, I'm sure there's some really cool things you can do then with actual real-time map data, but yeah, that's a little bit of a problem.
I quickly fixed this by adding an invisible floor under the spawn point. With this, our player now spawns on top of the world and we can run around.
Good.
Next, I moved the camera way up to make it a top-down game. I also added a zoom functionality.
That still looks just funny. Waiting for the map to load in.
I also added a zoom functionality. While really satisfying, I can imagine it being an interesting game mechanic too.
Okay.
You can zoom out to plan your path and zoom back in to focus on shooting.
Okay.
Next, I set up basic AIs, which spawn every second at a random location and slowly move towards the player.
Nice.
But those AIs look more like tin cans than zombies.
Yes.
To solve this, I found some meshes and animations.
There we go. Especially for any of these small scale videos, just Mixamo goes crazy. If you want to prove that you're not a zombie, that you're a real human, you have to subscribe. Zombies just watch the video without paying attention.
For the player, I found this mesh. After linking everything up, it started to look more and more like an actual zombie game.
Let's go.
I was getting bored of Zurich, so I input the coordinates of New York but upon arrival I realized that my spawn point was way too high. The reason for that is that Zurich has an elevation of 408 meters over sea level.
It's got that level of realism on the map data? Dang.
And New York only 10. Of course, those elevations are all made up by Google to cover up the fact that the Earth is actually an anime waifu. The last element needed for the game was a gun for the player, for which I quickly found this asset online. To round things up, I added a muzzle flash and a ribbon to indicate the shots and made the zombies die upon hit.
Oh, nice.
For the player, I made it so his sight dwindles for 5 seconds when he gets hit, making him vulnerable during that time.
Okay.
Lastly, I added a screen where you can input any location in the world before starting the game. It also accounts for the different heights of the terrain and adjusts it as it loads in. I was getting bored of this project, and with the base game working, I decided to start experimenting. Since everything in this game is solid, I can walk on any water surface, even the oceans. I can also slide down the pyramids or the Mount Everest.
Let's find some zombies. Oh, there's one.
The zombies just hanging out in the middle of Everest, chilling.
Oh, I can stop. No, I can shoot them. We are going to try to see if we can get to the Golden Gate Bridge.
You say, doesn't look like the Golden Gate Bridge to me. Maybe this is over the water and it just looks green. Cleanest body of water in California.
Damn, this actually looks pretty cool.
In a way, I mean, there's a lot of this just doesn't. It's just too zoomed in. It's just too zoomed in, so we're seeing all the flaws.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, there it is. Okay, it just...
Oh, no.
I wonder if there is a way to, like, force it to spawn the locations earlier, even if you're not there. There has to be, because as it stands, it looks like this Google Earth stuff is really not made to be played anywhere near this close.
But the more I played, the more I realized something. This is too easy. Words I would come to regret soon. So I added a big red button that should increase the difficulty quite a bit, and
there we go. The easy button.
Oh,
too
damn.
Easy.
Yeah, that's a bit more difficult.
We need the never die button.
Might be. Oh my god.
See, now it looks like a zombie video game. There we go. We got actual swarms. We're playing Age of Zombies back from on the phone.
This is an actual zombie apocalypse.
Oh, and I'd like to... And the corpses help a lot to improve the visuals. It just kind of hides some of the problems with the low quality textures on the bridge itself. Yeah, with the larger amount of zombies, you can zoom out more, so it looks a lot better. Yeah, this looks solid. This is not a full video game, of course. There's a lot of things you would need to add to kind of improve it. Plus, the scale is way off. Because, like, look at this. Isn't this like an on-ramp to the highway? And he takes up like half of it. This scaling needs a little bit of work.
As you can see, we have a small problem. The problem being that we have thousands, probably thousands of zombies. Even some waiting in the water because they can't get out.
They don't have a way to
see
climb.
If I can get out. I'm good, I'm good. Oh no.
You're
there's
not
one
there.
more location I wanted to try out. That's
in a volcano.
Amusement park. Oh no, they're spawning from both sides now. It's actually great. There.
Oh, that is an amusement
park.
Makes
like different types of gameplay depending on the location.
Man, I wish
this would happen, but
I wish that it was slightly higher resolution. Because yeah, this is kind of. I'm definitely gonna have to mess with this at some point. There's just so much you can. It's so nice to not actually have to design these levels. You have already a base design that's just real world. And it looks nice, you know.
Surprisingly well. Like you have to think around locations and plan your path well.
I wonder how they're handling the geometry and the collisions here.
Yeah, it's all on a flat plane. Let's just try it out. Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh yeah.
For example, you see in this amusement park, everything is flat.
I mean, you're just playing out a picture of it then at that point.
They haven't done any 3D modeling from Google Earth. So like also the way where the zombies spawn is very like uniform. They always take the shortest path towards you.
Yep.
And it makes for a more boring gameplay than what you saw before, for example.
Yep.
Now it's your turn. I am going to do some YouTube shorts showcasing interesting locations, and I need your ideas in the comments.
Okay.
And don't post your home address for obvious reasons. We don't want anyone to get doxxed.
No.
Unfortunately, I can't release the game right now because Google Earth is strongly restricting access to the API, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it looks really cool. The concept is nice. It's a good creative usage of the concept as well. Obviously, it needs a ton more to like come in to be a true video game. But what he came up with was still cool. It's kind of inspiring. It's like, dang, what more could you do with real world locations on the fly? Yeah, the zombie game kind of works with how empty they are, but you could do a lot of things with just like city plan and design games if you have that to work with. So, cool. All right, I'm going to link this video here. You can check out his channel. Also, we make game development videos, so go ahead and subscribe to check us out. Thank you guys for watching and staying with me. We'll see you later.